Hello, fellow therapists. If you are a pre-licensed therapist, meaning you are not yet licensed and you're still collecting hours, you might be wondering whether or not you have to wait to get licensed in order to have a private practice. Today's video is for you. My name is Kelley Stevens. I teach therapists how to build successful private practices. I have 2 online courses that teach you how to do that. But in today's video, I'm going to answer the question of, can you have a private practice before you ever get licensed, or maybe right after graduate school? Unfortunately, the answer to this question is one of those age-old therapist answers, which is, it depends. Before I break down the answer, I first want to specify what I mean by a pre-licensed therapist. So a pre-licensed therapist is anyone who is currently collecting hours who has not yet received a therapist license in their state. Now, every state has different licenses, right? You could be a licensed marriage and family therapist. You could be a licensed professional clinical counselor. You could be a licensed professional social worker. There are all sorts of different licenses, and in every single state, there are different terms. However, what is universal is that regardless of what state you are licensed in, when you are pre-licensed, you have to be working under supervision, meaning you have to be working under the license of another therapist. However, that still does not answer the question of whether or not you can own your own private practice before you get licensed. Here's where the it depends comes in. In some states, you can be pre-licensed and be under supervision, but still be the owner of your own private practice. In other states, you have to work as an employee of your supervisor's private practice, or as the employee of an agency, treatment center, hospital, or some sort of professional entity, and be under supervision as an employee. Every state is different. So if you find yourself today Googling, can a pre-licensed therapist have a private practice? Can I open a private practice right out of graduate school? Can I have a practice while I'm in graduate school? Can I work in private practice while I'm in graduate school? All these questions are state specific. And I would caution you not to get the answer to them from anyone that's on YouTube or anyone that's on Instagram, right? I want you to call the licensing board in your state. Explain to them exactly where you are on your therapy journey, and it's a pretty easy question. Now, once you get the answer of whether or not you can own your own practice, whether or not you can work in a group practice, where you have to work, do you have to work as a W-2 employee, can you be a 1099, all of those questions, get those answered. And then here's my piece of advice for you. I personally believe that working underneath somebody else in their private practice can be very useful, even if you're licensed. Working for a practice before you ever decide to go out and open your own, even if it's not a great experience, can teach you what not to do. So often as therapists, we have not learned the business skills that we need in order to be successful in private practice, right? There are things like, what paperwork do you use? What electronic health record do you use? How do you call a client back to schedule an appointment? What do you say on those calls? How do you build a schedule? All those questions are good things that if you end up being a pre-licensed therapist who's working under supervision from someone, you can ask a lot of those questions. So first, I want you to call the state licensing board and find out what their rules and regulations are for pre-licensed therapists working in private practice. Once you do that, I would try as early as possible to have some private practice experience, especially working in somebody else's group practice. Once you get to building your own private practice, make sure to check out some of my online courses. I will link those below. And I hope you like and subscribe for more tips, tricks, and information about being a private practice therapist.